Judaism's fictional descent from ancient Hebrew culture. Rabbinic Judaism, as institutionalized after the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, presents itself as the direct heir of ancient Israelite religion and Hebrew textual tradition. Its claim of unbroken continuity from the 5 books of Moses to the Mishnah, Talmud, and later rabbinic commentaries is foundational to its self-understanding. Yet, a careful historical, linguistic, and cultural analysis suggests that much of this continuity is less inheritance than construction, framing post-biblical innovations as ancient legacies. In other words, the link between Rabbinic Judaism and the Hebrew Scriptures, while symbolically powerful, is largely rhetorical, a cultivated attachment that overstates historical reality. Linguistic fabrication, from Mishnaic to modern Hebrew. Central to rabbinic claims of continuity is Mishnaic Hebrew, the language codified in the Mishnah and early rabbinic literature. While often portrayed as a natural evolution of biblical Hebrew, Mishnaic Hebrew is in fact a hybridized, post-biblical creation. Influenced heavily by Aramaic, the lingua franca of Jewish life under Persian and Roman rule, it functioned as a formal written language rather than a spoken vernacular. Its development reflects the needs of a new religious elite codifying law and ritual in the absence of the temple rather than the organic continuation of biblical linguistic practice. Modern Hebrew, revived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, is likewise presented as a return to biblical language. In reality, it is a consciously reconstructed tongue, shaped by nationalist and cultural agendas, relying selectively on biblical and Mishnaic forms. Both examples illustrate a broader strategy, the framing of linguistic innovation as continuity with a revered past, a strategy that creates an illusion of direct descent where none strictly exists. Symbolic geography and historical borrowing. Rabbinic and later Jewish communities have repeatedly drawn upon biblical nomenclature to claim symbolic roots in antiquity. The case of Ashkenaz exemplifies this phenomenon. Originally a figure in the Table of Nations many thousands of years ago, Ashkenaz was repurposed in the medieval period to label Jewish communities in Germany and Central Europe. This naming was not the preservation of ancient ethnic memory, but a literary and cultural borrowing intended to convey legitimacy and continuity. Such symbolic appropriations underscore how Rabbinic Judaism often retrofits post-biblical realities into a narrative of ancient heritage, conflating cultural imagination with historical fact. Religious reconstruction post-temple. The most profound evidence of discontinuity lies in the religious system itself. Rabbinic Judaism is a post-biblical creation, codifying oral law and producing a vast interpretive literature in the absence of the sacrificial and priestly-centered temple rites. While claiming authority from the law of Moses, it diverges significantly from ancient Israelite practice. Temple sacrifices, tribal priesthoods, and early legal institutions are reinterpreted or abandoned. Oral tradition is given divine authority for the first time. The post-biblical rabbinic framework functions as a reconstructed religion, one that retroactively casts itself as continuation, a careful reinterpretation rather than a literal preservation of ancient Israelite rites. Textual and genetic context, complicating claims of exclusivity. Rabbinic Judaism asserts itself as the exclusive heir to the Hebrew textual tradition. Yet other religious systems, particularly Christianity and Islam, draw on the same texts, incorporating the law of Moses, prophecy, and moral guidance. Genetic studies further complicate the narrative. Many Ashkenazi Jews display substantial European admixture, while Middle Eastern populations, including Arabs and other Levantine groups, often exhibit closer genetic continuity with ancient Gibeons. Claims of exclusive linear descent from biblical Israelites are therefore more ideological than empirical. Cultural co-optation and historical legacy. Beyond religion, Rabbinic Judaism frames its post-biblical innovations, linguistic, ritual, and geographic, as part of an unbroken biblical legacy. This framing allows a community-specific claim to a broader cultural inheritance, even as the same textual traditions inform multiple other societies, literatures, and religious systems. In effect, Rabbinic Judaism's narrative converts historical adaptation and post-biblical invention into symbolic authority, conflating cultural influence with authentic continuity. Conclusion: the evidence suggests that Rabbinic Judaism's attachment to the ancient Hebrew culture is more a constructed narrative than a literal historical continuation. Its linguistic reforms, symbolic naming practices, religious codifications, and claims of exclusive descent serve to create a sense of historical legitimacy and communal identity. While powerful and enduring, these claims constitute a rhetorical and ideological strategy rather than unbroken inheritance. In scholarly terms, Rabbinic Judaism is less a direct extension of biblical Israel than a post-biblical innovation, a religion that frames its inventions as ancient to assert authority and identity. Its attachment to the Hebrew text, therefore, can rightly be described as fraudulent, not in a legal or malicious sense, but as a calculated historical construction presenting adaptation as unbroken continuity.